This is Haystack Help Radio on KLZ 560. Haystack Help Radio is powered by HaystackHelp.com. Finding help can be like finding a needle in a haystack, but with HaystackHelp.com, finding the needle just got easier. Now, Haystack Help Radio with Scott Watley on KLZ 560.
Good afternoon and welcome to Haystack Help Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure and check out our website, HaystackHelp.com, and there you'll find a lot of great companies to do business with. We also have a help box right there on our homepage. You can send us any questions or problems through there. Then, of course, our helpline is always open, 303-333-HELP, 303-333-4357. Today, special day. Mr. Kurt Rogers in studio. Your money matters. How are you, sir?
I am doing fine. They fired you from your old office.
They did, yeah.
You trashed it. It got so bad they had to throw you out.
We're too loud for our tenants there, so they're putting in another wall, little sound barrier there for us. So we're over in a new studio.
Well, it's the same with Rush to Reason. So
I think it's actually John that's too loud.
John's the one that caused it.
Absolutely. Well, again, this is a special edition of Haystack Help Radio for Your Money Matters, and each week we try to bring you local guests, usually that are something to do with our finances. And every once in a while, Kurt, we do some things that are a little bit more community efforts. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about your side of the business with mortgage. So with the availability of homes on the market, that are for sale right now, not all of them are in great condition. So what do you recommend for someone wanting to buy maybe a home that's not in the perfect condition?
A lot of people, when they go out to look at a home, they would like it to be pretty well finished. I actually have a client, it's rather funny. They went out to look at a home and they made an offer in the home. And when they had the home inspected, the seller of the home decided that the refrigerator and the oven and the dishwasher they wanted to keep. So they took them out and put in an oven, no refrigerator, and a dishwasher. Dishwasher didn't work. They never plugged it in. The plug-in for the oven could not be plugged into the wall because it was a 4-prong instead of a 3-prong. And they tried to get that passed. And when the inspection was done and they were told about it, they said, well, that's the way it is. So you never know what you're going to expect. But there are loan programs out there that allow somebody to buy the home and rehab the home either when they move in or before they move in, and you get a period of time. And you can do anything from replacing the windows, hardwood floors, granite countertops, new kitchens, bathrooms, and that can all be part of your loan.
Right.
So it becomes an attractive way to find a house that is, might be laid out right, might be in the perfect neighborhood, but it hasn't been updated for 20 years. So you get a chance to get a loan and get the good rates and get the money to fix it, and it's exactly the way you want when you move in.
Right.
So those are pretty nice, and you can actually do some loans as much as $100,000. You can actually add on. You can build another room or modify the interior of the house, and it all becomes part of the loan originally.
Okay. Now, what about a homeowner? They already own the home and they want to do some improvements.
And that's actually where we're starting to do a lot more business, because people that own a home, they'd like to upgrade. Well, guess what? A, they can't find it, or B, when they do, it's twice as much as what they think it's going to be. Average price of a home is what, $425,000 to $500,000 now. So we're seeing people that are adding on rooms and doing these modifications to their homes and refinancing it and putting it in that, and able to lower their payments and maybe not extend their term and get the home the way they want, because they're already used to the home. They save money because they ain't got to pay to move.
Sure.
They ain't got to throw stuff away that they really don't want to throw away.
Right.
So it becomes a whole lot easier just to have those improvements done on the house that you have.
Right. Now, what would be the difference in the type of loan you're describing there than someone just maybe going out and getting a second to do the improvements?
You can do a second. if you want to pull out, $10,000, $20,000 to do that, you can. The issue with that is you have to requalify. They normally don't want to go over 85% loan to value. Their rates are higher, and it's normally interest only. So when if they're going to charge you 5.5% or 6% on a second, that's interest only. If you add the principal portion, that payment gets so much higher than it would on the first, because you still get rates in the 4s, and you don't have to extend the term. So it's actually more costly to do that. Sometimes it's easier if you're only doing $10,000 or $15,000, but when you get up above around that 20, it's much better just to put it into your home, because you're raising the value. What they do is, let's say you have a $300,000 house and you want to redo your kitchen. They will appraise the house with the kitchen done and give you a loan to value against that. So you might improve your kitchen to $350,000. So now you can get it all done nicely and get a better rate and a better loan.
Gotcha. Again, Affordable Interest Mortgage, your one-stop shop for all your mortgage needs. 720-895-0500. You can check out their website at aimortgage.net. Well, today's is one of those community effort kind of giving back a little bit.
I've been looking forward
Kurt,
to this day for quite a while.
Appreciate it. So tell us about our guest today.
Our guest, her name is Lindsay Radford Foster. She works for Adams Camp. I had to throw in that last because she has dual names. She's kind of like a spy. Depends on who you talk to here. She works for Adams Camp. I know several people that have children in Adams Camp, and I'm going to ask her to explain a little bit about who she is, where she came from, but her name is Lindsay.
That's the important thing. We got that down.
Yeah.
So I have 4 great children. And one of them, my third, is Noah. He's 6, and he has Down syndrome. And when we moved to Colorado almost 3 years ago, we came from Minnesota. We knew the landscape in Minnesota. We knew about all the services. But when you move to a new state, it's not like they roll out the welcome mat and say, hey, here are the list of all the things you need to know for your kiddo with a disability.
Sure.
You really are trying to figure it out for your typical kids and your child with a disability. And so we were really feeling our way through the dark, and I ran into a mom who also had a son with Down syndrome, and we ended up talking, and she said, have you heard of this thing called Adams Camp? And I thought, no. And then she listed a bunch of other resources, but I knew that those were resources that were going to take a longer amount of time for us to figure out. So everybody else was in bed at night, and at 11 o'clock at night, I found the Adams Camp website. I enrolled my son right away, just because as a parent, I felt like I was failing because I think we were maybe 3 or 4 months into our time in Colorado, and we were still figuring out therapists and all of that. And so we went to Adams Camp for the first time, and it's a remarkable program. And it really had a profound impact on our son in his ability to develop his different skills that we were focused on at the time. And it was a great sense of community for us. And so I automatically became a believer. Adams Camp joined, as we like to say, if you do something for Noah, you're doing something for, you become a part of his army. And we need those people in the community to support and love him and help him grow. And so at the time I was working in television, so that was my main profession. But I had the opportunity to break away from television, and Adams Camp had the right opening at the right time. And I said, heck yeah, I want to go do that full time because I believe in this.
So tell us a little bit about Adams Camp. You know, you're the kind of woman that if you're taking care of your child and you're going to do this, you're going to do a little research on this company before you decide to go forward. How did they start? What motivated them?
So Adams Camp is a great story. 30 years ago, there was a family, Bob and Carol Horney. They had triplets. One of them, Adam, had CP, and he was about to go into kindergarten, and Adam was still not walking. And their biggest fear was, 30 years ago, keep in mind therapy wasn't quite done the same way it is today, that if he went into the school system in kindergarten in a wheelchair, that would just be the accepted standard for him, and that it would be much harder to push him to get out of that wheelchair. And so that family got together and started talking to some of their therapists. They ended up talking to a couple of other families that they knew, and they said, you know what, let's take 5 kids. We're going to get 5 therapists to come up to a friend's place in the mountains, a cabin, and we're just going to try this intensive therapy over 5 days and see what happens. So the kids would rotate through these various therapists, speech, OT, PT, work on their different goals that they had. And what the family will tell you is that a couple of days into camp, all of a sudden using a walker for the very first time, Adam took his first independent steps. And that was the hallelujah moment for them. And they were starting to see progress from other kiddos. And it was all of a sudden this just momentous occasion of success for these kids. And everybody had such a good time, and word spread. And it became hey, you know what, that worked really well. Let's do it again next summer. Let's do it again next summer. And as word spread, more and more families wanted to come up. Before you knew it, Adams Camp was born in 1986. They now run camp out of Winter Park. We do programs here in the city. And so it's just continued to grow. And so what the programs look like, if you have a child between the ages of 1 and 4, you can go to Early Start. We have actually Early Start running this week. And so those kids come in, and they give us the parents give us a set of goals that they want the kids to work on. And we bring all the therapists together. We cherry pick the very best in the state of Colorado from outside of Colorado. And they come in and they really work with these kiddos on their goals. Maybe it's speech, maybe it's walking, maybe it's just learning to hold a pencil. It could be something as simple as that. And then we work for them. And so we have a 5, 5, 5, and 5 model, 5 days, 5 kids per team, and 5 therapists. And each night is a lot like a coaching team, I like to joke, because after each game or each therapy day, we bring the whole team together and we say, okay, what worked? What didn't work? Who responded to which part of the therapy? And that's where we really get our success. And so each evening, like my teams right now, my therapy teams are actually teaming right as we speak, working on the kiddos that they worked with today to figure out who responded to what. And then they'll readjust what they were doing in therapy for the following day when they meet. And then at the end of camp, the parents get a report. And that report is really important because they can take it back to their therapist that they work with. And it helps the therapist understand how to really motivate a child. And I have to give you a little bit of info on the way the therapy world works today with insurance. It doesn't make sense.
All you have to do is mention
The insurance.
insurance and not making sense. We got your.
You knew you had us on that one.
I know. Well, let me put it this way. Let's take the Denver Broncos. You got different coaches, but they all have the same goal. At the end of the day, they want the team to win. They want the team to achieve success. Okay, makes sense. In the world of therapy, I may drive 10 miles over here to see a speech therapist. I may drive 15 miles in a different direction to go see an occupational therapist. I may go way across town to go get a physical therapist. But they don't ever come together and know what each one is working on. And insurance bills separately for each one. Insurance doesn't allow often the therapists to come together and work as a team. So there's not that united front. And so I may know my son, who speech has been our big issue for him, I know that if he's doing something physical, when a kid is being active physically, they're more inclined to talk. But his physical therapist doesn't know what his speech goals are. So we don't get to work on things at the same time. And that's kind of the unique model that Adams Camp brings. And honestly, we're the only camp in the country that does this, which is crazy.
I was going to ask you what makes you different. And it sounds like they have their own therapist, but when they come out here, they have different therapists. Now, the 5 that you have here, do they happen to talk to the therapist at these families? Do they relay that information back, say, we found that this worked and that worked?
Yes, and that's why that final report is so important. And no, we bring in fresh therapists. So it may not be a therapist that they work with outside of their normal day, which we actually think is actually a plus because you get to see what other therapists can do. And
they see the child differently.
They do. They're
not used to the child. They're seeing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm. So it's really pretty awesome, and we get phenomenal stories that come out of these experiences.
So how you mentioned Winter Park? Now is that's kind of the base camp, I guess we call it? Is that where the headquarters?
Yeah. So 1 to 5 is early start, or 1 to 4, and then when you turn 5, you get to you're a big enough kid, you get to go to the mountains and go to camp in the mountains. And what we really believe in is if you have a child with a disability, it impacts the entire family. So we run a family camp. So the parents get to go up. We do parent programming. The parents stay up there. We have parent activities. We're adding zip lining for parents this summer. We have a boat we take them out on. There are hikes that they go on. So it's really a chance for those parents who often have to do 24/7 care for their child to finally have time.
A break.
It's a break, and they need it. And they get to go on dates, and they get to have conversations with their spouses. And in the meantime, we put siblings in camp because we know that sometimes the kid with a disability gets a lot of attention and the siblings just want to go have fun and they don't want to go sit in the doctor's office and they don't want to go wait for therapy to end. So we also have a sibling program that runs at the same time. And so those siblings get to do all the adventurous things you would do at any other camp.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
That's quite exciting. When you were talking about the therapists, you say they get together. Where do you find these? I mean, do you have the same 5 or do you pick different ones at different times?
So we'll have more than 100 therapists working camp this year.
And they volunteer for this, or they
get paid?
Yeah, I'm sure they get paid. But they're saying, yeah, we'll become part of this because they apparently must have a heart for it.
They do, and you know what? It's really exciting for the therapist because the therapists think, oh, finally, you're letting me outside of my box. Like I don't have to just do it this way in this circle. I can really break out and
see if this works.
I can experiment with different things. And hey, you're going to tell me, I'm going to learn different techniques from you, and it's going to make me. We actually get a lot of therapists who want to come and join us because it really enhances their skill set, so that they're not caught in their typical box. And it's all done through play. It's done throughout fun activities. If you're in the mountains, it's done through a lot of typical camp activities.
Well, I would think with the kids together, the 1 through 4-year-olds, as they have their disability, they're seeing other children with disabilities, and they relax. They don't see themselves maybe as odd, and they're able to express themselves better.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of those friendships that they make last forever. We have families. Well, I can tell you, our oldest camper is 46.
40s.
46.
Whoa.
See, aren't you jealous you can't go to camp now anymore at
I'm
46?
telling you, this sounds pretty cool. Zip lining, all that.
But he started going. He was one of our early campers, and that's where he's made all of his friends. And it is the one thing he looks forward to more than anything else because he knows he gets to go to camp. And so the other thing is these families get to know each other. So we have families that'll say, hey, I'm going week 1. You want to go to week 1? And they team up and make sure that they're going to week 1. Their families and siblings have become friends. And so it becomes a big just sense of community for those families. And often, you know, when you have a kiddo with a disability, it can be a little isolating because not everybody understands.
Right. You're listening to Haystack Help Radio and a very special edition of Your Money Matters today. We've got to take a short break, and we'll be back with more with Lindsay Radford right after this.
What could you do with an extra $500, $1,000, or even $1,500 per month? How would that change things for you? Would you buy a new car, pay off bills, or just feel a bit more secure about your retirement? What if I told you there's a way to make your dreams a reality? I'm talking about trading and investing in the market. Now, before you say, oh, that's not for me, just hear me out. I want to invite you to a half-day trading course so you can check this out. I promise you, you'll go away smarter than when you came in. We here at Online Trading Academy sponsor this, and we'll even send you home with a free home study video guide. Your money's doing nothing for you in a CD or mutual fund. Learn how to profit when the market's up or down. Call us now while seats are still available at 303-325-2776. Use offer code radio50. 303-325-2776. That's 303-325-2776.
Tired of being forgotten, disrespected, and not listened to when applying for a mortgage? Do you always get someone new when checking your loan status? Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. We have been serving Colorado since 2001. We are closing loans in 13 to 15 days. We offer paperless applications, ability to view your loan status 24/7, loans designed to fit your needs, not the bank's, with customized terms, whether purchase or refinance, all at low rates. Take AIM for quick pre-approvals, cash out to pay off high credit card debt, and see how hundreds of our clients are saving thousands in excess interest and payments, all while owning their home faster. Find out how. Call now, 720-895-0500, and talk to your personalized mortgage professional from start to finish. 720-895-0500. That's 720-895-0500, where it is all about you. Regulated by DOR, NMLS 298191, Equal Credit Lender.
Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center offers KLZ listeners complete pet care services every day, all at one location. It's so much more than a clinic and so convenient. Their expert staff is always happy to help your pet have the happy and healthy life it deserves. Schedule a medical checkup for your beloved companion or take the first step toward a better behaved buddy by signing your pup up for obedience training. Did you know that if your sweet kitty needs grooming, Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center is one of the few facilities that offers grooming for both dogs and cats. And if you're planning a vacation, Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center offers boarding for dogs, cats, and other small pets so you can take your vacation without worry, knowing that your four-legged family member's home away from home has a fully equipped medical center on site. Learn more about Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center at lonetreevet.com or call 303-708-8050.
Rush to Reason with John Rush, weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ 560.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio and a special edition here today of Your Money Matters, brought to you by our good friends here at Affordable Interest Mortgage. Kurt Rogers in the studio. Our very special guest, Lindsay Radford. And Lindsay's with Adams Camp. And this is a disability camp, and it helps children and adults. And first time I have ever heard of this. Kurt, I did not even know it existed.
Well,
so
I go to our pastor at our church. He has a child that has Down, has a disability, and the guy I work with the church, he also has one. So that's how I heard about it.
And here's what's cool about this stuff, and why I appreciate you doing these kind of shows, because a lot of times you don't know. Let's say something happens in life, you have a need for something. you just start Googling stuff, where's there help for this?
That's right.
Because you don't know. I remember my sister lost a leg, to diabetes, about 8 years ago, and I wanted to get her a little bit better wheelchair than what the insurance was getting. I mean, are there wheelchair stores? I didn't know where to go or what to do to help, and so I love having these shows, every few weeks, just different things in the community, just to let people know, what, there is help out there. And we're going to tell you a lot today then about this Adams Camp. So, a real quick question for me, Lindsay, is there's got to be needs that a camp like this has. So, if we have one of our listeners out there, or maybe several of our listeners, that would say, hey, this sounds like a really cool deal. Hey, I'm blessed, fortunate enough, my kids are healthy or something, but we'd like to maybe help this camp out in some way. What are some of the needs? I mean, money's always helpful because you can go get what you need. So we'll just start there. Cash is good. But what are some other needs maybe?
Kids are kids and they play on our equipment, to be honest. And when we get done with this week of camp, we're going to sit down and assess what we need for gear, because our kiddos sometimes need just different sensory objects. Mm-hmm. Peanut ball, which may sound like something you've never heard of, but that helps our kids learn to sit up straight with core. So lots of things like that. And so we have a list of physical needs that we need. We also love volunteers. We have about 75 people this year that will, or more, honestly, that will be up at camp in Winter Park. And if you have a college student, if you're a grown up, it doesn't matter how old you are, we love to have volunteers come to camp. And the great news is I can tell you 70% of our volunteers return year after year because it's such a rewarding experience. And it's fantastic. You get to spend time with these kids. You get to take them through the activities. And here's, as a parent of a child with a disability, I always feel like I can say this. And there is nothing greater than those people who are blessed with disabilities. And I say it's a blessing in some way because whereas I'm going to be caught up in work things and I'm going to be overthinking things and overanalyzing things, when I get home to see my son Noah, he's going to be the one kid out of my 4 that comes to me at the door and gives me a big giant hug. He melts into my body because he's just all about love in that moment. And he's not going to let his mind get distracted by other things. He sees me and he just wants to love me. And these kids have so much fun. Right. They just embrace life and love life, and they just don't carry the baggage that the rest of us do. So when you go up to camp, it's a blast. I mean, and they are in the happiest time of their summer. This is what they wait for. We actually had camp. This is going to make you laugh. We had camp. We're in our winter week right now for our adult campers. So they're up skiing and up in Winter Park and having a great time, ice skating, bowling, you name it. They're doing all that stuff. They're away from their parents, which they love. Right. But they, on registration day, sign-in day, where they have to come in and get checked in and everything, they will be at our offices an hour and a half in advance because they're so excited to be there. On the flip side, I will say this. The parents are just as excited to drop them off.
Sure, because they get a break.
So we love volunteers. We are in the process of really looking at expanding some of our programs. So if people have an interest in helping us in that area and they have an expertise in that area, we have campsites outside of Colorado. And so as we look at building that affiliate model, we're looking for smart minds and people who want to volunteer and put in some help there. It can be something as simple as bringing a hot breakfast to Early Start for those parents who are having their kids go through the program one day. So it's all over the map. But if you want to help us, we can find a way to plug you in and have you become an asset to all these great families and great people.
Now, describe the childs that are accepted in the camp. Some of them have different disabilities. Are there some that don't fit into Adams Camp and you recommend they go somewhere else? Or give me an idea of what the children are. So
really, we run the gamut. There is no real barrier. Some of the challenges that we face, if you have, I'll give you an example. If you have let me explain one thing before I get to that answer. Our programs are tiered. So as you go up and get older, there's less one-on-one support and there's more of you being an independent camper. So the program grows with you as you grow and you develop more leadership and independence. So if you're an adult and you're in an adventure camp, unfortunately some kiddos may have behaviors that we can't control. And in that case, the ratio was going to drop from 5 campers to 1 counselor. And so there are a lot of activities that we do to take you out in the public. Winter Park always has a concert series. We always attend the concert. So if we feel that it's a scenario where the behavior, we can't manage the behavior, then we may say, you know what, we need to find a different camp for you that's a one-on-one at that older age, just because we need to make sure the camper is safe and that we can manage a situation and make sure it works out for everybody. But we always have a list of recommendations of where we can send you if it doesn't fit.
Now, you said you had the first camp, and they really don't go anywhere. It's the 1 to 4-year-olds.
Yep.
Then you break into the 5 to 46-year-olds.
Okay, a little bit of us. So what we do is we have the Pathfinder group, which is going to be kids starting at age 5, and they come to, when they're in the mountains, they do therapy from 8:30 in the morning until 2:30, and then they go back to their parents, and then we have different camp activities in the evening. The next phase is the young camper at that age will spend one night in a normal camp cabin, bunk beds with their friends, with the counselors. Then once they graduate from that program, they get to spend 3 nights in a cabin and really kind of start to develop their independence. And they're doing a little bit more out in the community. They're doing a wide array of activities when they get to that point. And then there's a natural point in time where therapy doesn't benefit you as much as it did when you were earlier. And then you leave therapy camp at Adams Camp and you graduate to adventure camp, which is really your stereotypical 5 nights away, sleep away.
Mm-hmm.
You're sleeping next to your buddy who snores the whole time, all that good stuff with camp.
Right.
You know how that is. So
You're learning how all that works.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Now, when the kids go up there, you say you have other things for the family, whether it's for siblings or for the parents.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like they still get to interface with the child afterwards, after 2:30.
Yeah, yes, they do. So, and it's great. And I think that helps the parents, especially when the kids are younger, just get to see them and touch base with them.
And hear what they did through the day,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably good for both sets, the parents and the child.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, as a parent, you can't wait to see what they did. And I am going to jump to Early Start, which is happening this week right here in Denver. I talked to 2 moms, and I had one in tears yesterday because she was so excited to see that her child, who has autism, went straight into camp and sat down with the group, because we do circle time in the beginning and we sing a song, and really wanted to engage with everyone. And for her, that sign of independence, the sign of the sensory needs not being so great, the fact that he could do that on his own was a really big deal. And it may sound simple, but for her, it was a really big deal. And so tears in her eyes. There was another young boy who has Down syndrome, and he just, with Down syndrome, you get low muscle tone, which is kind of like floppy muscles. It's not the normal strength that the rest of us have.
Right.
And, they were working with him on some of his skills today, and she got to peek down the hallway and seeing him doing some of his physical activities. And she said, I've never seen him do this before. He's never reached this before. So it's so rewarding for those parents when they get to see how their kids are growing.
Right. Now, we're here in Colorado. So are there other states that have this kind of, are you guys wanting to grow this other states, or just kind of make this outreach in different cities here in our state?
So we are already in other states and in other countries. So we have a site in Ireland.
Yeah, I saw that on the website.
We should go visit, Kurt. We should go visit Ireland.
You could
We could
volunteer
do a show
there.
over there, a live show over there. Take you with us.
I know.
Bring our clubs.
So there's a site in Ireland. We have Nantucket. We have New Hampshire. We have Texas, and we have Alaska. And so they are all much smaller programs because they're much newer programs. But I will tell you that they sell out every year. There is such a need for these kind of camps, and it's really hard to find a therapy camp like this. It just doesn't exist. And so our job, we really feel, is to service as many kids as we can, because that's the benefit of a nonprofit. You get to your mission is to do good.
Sure.
So we're in the process of rebuilding our affiliate programs, so how we launch them, the supports that we give them from Colorado. And so we're really kind of looking at building an affiliate model that helps make it easier and faster to launch a site and get it up to speed, so that families in Colorado can go there just as much as other families can come here. We're at a tipping point where really we fill up all of our camps, which is a blessing. So many nonprofits don't have that similar luck. So we really feel it's incumbent on us to expand programs in other cities and states where the resources may not be there for these families. At the same time, we want to be able to spend more time with the families in Colorado. So we're looking at launching programs in Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, and Grand Junction, Western Slope,
Right.
in the next 2 years, really, and expanding some additional programs, especially for the early start kids, the 1 to 4-year-olds.
Wow. How difficult is the just the schooling? I mean, you have a child at that. I mean, it's going to a public school, no doubt would have its challenges, and everything. So, I mean, What are just some of the hurdles that you guys face there?
I will say it's, as a parent, you kind of go into it. I mean, maybe I am a glass half full kind of girl, but you go into it thinking, okay, this is all going to work out because everybody has my kid's best interest at heart. In our experience, Noah is in kindergarten this year, and we struggled a little bit in the beginning of the year. There were some things that just kind of made us feel like he wasn't a priority, and that's not true of everybody that worked with him, but there were just things that were falling through the cracks that we didn't think should be falling through the cracks, especially for a kiddo with a disability, whether it wasn't appropriate, we didn't think, for any student. So we went and approached the school, and they were phenomenal, and they turned it around on a dime. So we were very lucky. I think I can tell you, having talked to other parents, every district is different in how they run their programs and how they offer services. But, we've really had to learn to be proactive and to really ask questions once or twice to make sure we get what we need for Noah. And then at the same time, we spend a lot of time with him, making sure that we tutor him at home and try to help him stay ahead. And, I have a kindergartner with Down syndrome who can read. That's pretty remarkable. Kids with Down syndrome have photographic memories, so I get a head start. It makes it a little bit easier. But math is going to be a struggle for him. And it's, I'm looking at it ahead to first grade, and we have meetings coming up pretty soon with the school to talk about first grade. And I know the separation between what he can do and what his classmates can do is going to start to become more evident over time. And I think that's a little bit of a pang in my heart because he's a smart kid and he's a great kid.
That separation may be the other way around.
That's right.
He may be way smarter than these other.
He may have a gift you don't know about.
Exactly, yeah. You're listening to Haystack Help Radio, and we are glad to have Lindsay Radford in studio with us today. Adams Camp, check out their website, adamscamp.org. And if you'd like to be of help in some way or would just like more information, give them a call at 303-563-8290. That's 303-563-8290. We got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Littleton Heating and Air Conditioning is proud of their 45 years of HVAC service to Littleton, Highlands Ranch, and Denver metro area. Littleton Heating and Air Conditioning is your Lennox and Carrier expert heating and air conditioning contractor. They are proud to offer the finest heating, air conditioning, and indoor air quality products with prompt and professional customer service and satisfaction. Call today and mention Haystack Help Radio and save $25 off any repairs or $100 off your furnace installation. Call 303-798-3880. That's 303-798-3880 for your appointment today. Littleton Heating and Air, A-plus members of the Better Business Bureau and official Haystack Help registered company.
Ladies, I know you're tired of walking into the local gun store and seeing the same old thing. So let me tell you about Rampart Firearms. Just a quarter mile up Highway 67 off of Santa Fe and Sedalia, you will find a great selection of guns, ammo, tactical, and personal defense weapons. And if you or your spouse love to hunt, Rampart Firearms is a great stop for all of your hunting needs. Shotguns, rifles, pistols, anything from predator hunting to your next big game trip. Head to Rampart Firearms at the foot of the Rockies. Open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you will only pay a 4% tax on your purchase. RampartFirearms.com, 720-468-0050. That's 720-468-0050.
I was hurt in a car accident. The bills were piling up and my insurance company was giving me the runaround. I didn't know what to do, but then I called a lawyer I saw on TV. That lawyer had all the tools and the knowledge to get me $1.2 million.
Whoa. When you're hurt in an accident, you need Kevin Flesh of Flesh Law, a lawyer that's going to take your case seriously and not treat you like some get-rich-quick scheme. Serious car accidents are traumatic and can completely disrupt your life. Kevin Flesh has the integrity to help you get your life back on track. He will fight for you to get what you deserve, but he won't treat you like a lottery ticket. After you've been in an accident, call Kevin Flesh of Flesh Law at 303-806-8886 and make sure you will get someone who will do the right thing and get your life back.
Don't fall for gimmick ads when choosing your insurance coverage. Group Insurance Analyst has been Colorado's insurance superstore since 1984, where customers can compare and shop for all of their insurance needs. At GIA Insurance, their brokers have no allegiance to any particular health, auto, or home insurance company. Take advantage of their experience, expertise, and exceptional client service. For your free quote, call today at 303-423-0162. That's 303-423-0162. Visit their website, e-gia.com, or stop by their office at 44th and Garrison Street in Wheat Ridge. Group Insurance Analyst is an official Haystack Help registered company.
Got a question for the station? Email info@crawfordbroadcasting.com. Now back to Haystack Help Radio.
And we are back. You're listening to Haystack Help Radio, a special edition of Your Money Matters. Once again, brought to you by Affordable Interest Mortgage. Their number is 720-895-0500, and Kurt and his crew will be able to help you out with any of your mortgage needs. If you're just getting in the car or turning on your radio, Lindsay Radford is our special guest today from Adams Camp. Once again, their website is adamscamp.org, and their number is 303-563-8290. And if you're, like I say, you're just tuning in, boy, they could use some help with some volunteers. If you want to call the number again, 303-563-8290, and find out some of the other needs they may have. This is a great organization and something I'm just learning about today. I've lived here since 1993. And
they were here in 86.
Did not know about them.
Yeah,
so this is great information, and so glad that something's out there to, help these kids and help the families so much, Kurt. Just a cool deal.
You had mentioned earlier that you have 75 volunteers.
Yep, they come up to camp.
Yes.
Yes.
Where do you find them?
Well, we used to take a lot of high school students, but now we started to do a lot more recruiting at colleges because we're looking at folks who, may not have had experience with kids with disabilities, but if they're going into the medical field, or maybe they know they already want to become physical therapist or occupational therapist, and so it's great to get them started. We still take high schoolers though, so we take all age ranges. We have couples that come up, that they just want to do that for part of their summer vacation, and they come up to camp. I warn you, it's not always easy. I mean, especially if you're camping. If you're in a cabin, with adult campers, some of them are going to have autism. Some of them are going to have different disabilities that make it tough for them to transition and sleeping at night. So we explain to our volunteers, depending on where you're assigned, it may not be a restful experience.
It might not be what you think. Now, and I'm sure you ask questions and make sure that the person seems to have the right disposition.
Yes, we do. Yeah, because we have a lot of, we have a lot of parents who just want to know that their kids are with people that they should be. We run all the standard background checks. We interview all of our volunteers, all of our counselors, just to make sure. And we have a great return rate. So that really benefits us and makes the load a little bit easier for us. So we have people who've worked with us for years.
The first time I ever got introduced to Down syndrome was I was in the military. I was stationed in California. And they decided to have an event on the base, and I volunteered. It was like an Olympics that they have.
That's cool.
And I was out there with them because I was in the sports. And I had more fun watching these children than anything I had ever done in my entire life. Watching them compete and the joy that came across their face, I'm like, well, this is great. It made me realize not to take life so serious.
Mm-hmm.
They really, so at that point I said, this is pretty interesting. I never got the opportunity to do it again, but so I can understand that.
If you want to come to camp this summer, I can hook you up.
I
won't make you sleep in a noisy cabin. I'll find a spot where you can sleep.
I only have one good ear, so it doesn't matter. I can go sleep anywhere. My problem is my boss won't give me the time off.
I've heard he's tough.
He is very tough. Now, you had talked earlier about the parents. What do the parents or the other siblings do? Because we had talked on break about when the child is at the 8:30, 2:30. What do the parents do? What do you have scheduled for them?
So
or just quiet time.
They can take quiet time if they want. We have different activities that are available to them. We really, this even if you have typical kids. You go to the amusement park, you can't ride any of the rides because there's some kid that can't get on the ride, and so you're stuck standing down there watching everybody else have fun. So our view is it's your time to come and have some fun. And so we do a date night out where all the volunteers babysit the kids so the parents can actually go on a date. We do a party barge, and really we just rent a boat, and basically they go out and have a good fun afternoon on the water. We the good news is because the Winter Park is right there's all kinds of stuff that they can do. Yeah. We can set up hikes, we set up
bike rides, zip lining,
tubing, you name it, sailing, stand-up paddleboard. So it's really a matter of it varies from week to week what we set up, but we set up a lot of fun stuff. And then in the meantime, the siblings they're doing all those same adventure activities. So it's not, there's nothing dull about coming to Adams Camp.
So everybody kind of gets a break from each other, but all comes back at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're very family focused. We really believe in supporting the whole family.
Okay.
What is the interview process like of just someone calls you, they say, hey, we've got a child, we'd like to get enrolled in this? I mean, is there an acceptance process or an interview process that takes place to accept that child in?
Yes, so our lead therapist or our therapy camp director has to call every new family. And what we do is we have you fill out a questionnaire, and then we also then will reach out to maybe some of your existing therapists or somebody you may work with at the school just to really get a true sense of the needs. Because the last thing we want to do is have a kid come to camp that we really can't help. And so we assess the needs. We do a parent interview over the phone or sometimes in person. And really that gives us a lot of information. You know, one of the things that we struggled with this year is we had a lot of parents call us who had, I'm gonna roughly say 10-year-olds with autism who were, really high functioning kiddos. But our program right now isn't set up to really service them as well as they could be serviced. But they were telling us one of their existing camps had kind of expired and they were too old to go. So that's where we're taking a lot of that input in this year to figure out where are there kids that aren't being serviced and how can we develop new programs next year
And maybe
to
help them out.
Yeah, because I mean, there's nothing worse than finding out you can't get what you need for your kid and there's not a place for them. And so we feel it's really important to figure out how we keep expanding our programming. You know, and when you talk about needs, we scholarship everyone that comes to camp at 50% automatically. That's not to say it's cheap, but we get help from the community service boards. We get help from our own scholarship money that we raise for kids and for families. But we still want to continue to work on bringing that price down and making it more affordable for everyone because it just does so much good for those kiddos, especially as they're getting that early start in life and learning those skills and developing those skills.
So if somebody wants to volunteer, they can do that. They call you. But if they want to donate, can they go to your website and donate money?
They can. Yep. And we do it through the First Bank, Colorado Give site. So it's really easy to do.
And what's your website?
Our website is just www.adamscamp.org.
And on there, they can find out how they can either volunteer or even enroll the child and start that process, or if they want to donate some money so you can give scholarships.
Yep, absolutely.
Now the big question, what's it cost? Is there a cost difference between the 1 to 4?
Yes.
Versus the 5 and up?
Yes. So, I'm going to think of my head really quickly. $1,900 is early start. $2,900 for the camp up in the mountains. And then once you move to adventure camp, because the therapy ratio drops, that makes it much more reasonable. So that's $1,100. And a lot of that actually is covered by the community service boards, which is a real advantage to parents.
So they're bringing up half of that.
And then we do other event programming for some of our older campers too. So we'll do in the fall we'll do a weekend in Estes Park. We'll do the winter week, which is also taking place right now for our older campers. We will do. Trying to think of what else. We have the road trip that takes place in the fall. So there are a number of other activities.
You have about 4 or 5 activities throughout the year, but the big one is the camp in the summer.
Big one is the camp. Yep.
How many kids come to each? The 1 to 4, how many do you have versus the 5 and up, and then the adventure camp?
It really depends on the availability of therapists for the early start. So right now we are just running a couple of teams, which means we've got 10 young kids in camp right now. That varies some years, and because of the timing of spring break, we have to really gauge when are the therapists available and whose spring breaks match up. So we can have big teams sometimes during the year and other times smaller teams. So right now we have about 10 kids that are in early start therapy camp, and then we run 5 teams of 5 kids. So each week we'll have 25 kids per program. So I have to do my math. We've got hundreds of kids per week that are showing up basically.
Yeah, because it's a 5-week
5-week program.
So you get 25 at a crack.
And that's just
So yeah.
So it adds, and that's not including adventure camp, which
There's a lot going on. That's a lot going on.
That's why you need 75 volunteers or more.
303-563-8290 is the number. Again, if you'd like to help out or just get more information. And again, that website, adamscamp.org. When we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit and, about some of the big challenges for families, raising a child with a disability, and then a little bit about the future of Adams Camp and, again, all the growth and things that they're looking forward to there. We got to take our last break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
If you're looking for great deals on outdoor equipment and clothing, we've got you covered. Hi, this is Bill Paddock, owner of the Outdoorsman's Attic, your outdoor gear consignment headquarters. You'll save 20, 30, 40, even 50% on previously owned outdoor gear for the fisherman, hunter, and camper. We also sell live bait, firearms, and ammo. If you're doing a little spring cleaning, bring in your gear to the Outdoorsman's Attic. We'll sell it for you and put cash in your pocket. You can also pick up your hunting and fishing licenses right here at the store. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor gear needs is the Outdoorsman's Attic, located at 2650 West Hampton Avenue in Sheridan, Colorado. 303-781-3626. That's 303-781-3626. Or visit us online at outdoorsmansattic.com. Mention Sportsman's of Colorado and receive 20% off all your outdoor clothing.
Are you well positioned today with your current financial advisors? Or should you consider switching advisors? And if so, how can you find the right one? To help people like you, Dot Mechtenberg offers a free second opinion service. Let Dot help you achieve your retirement goals. Call Dot Mechtenberg today at 303-940-7807. That's 303-940-7807 or visit dotmechtenberg.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Genios Wealth Management Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Let me tell you what I love about Stack Optical. They are truly one of the last optician-owned, family-owned optical stores. At Stack Optical, you can be confident you'll receive personal attention. For over 50 years, Alan Stack has shown he really cares about making his customers happy. Stack Optical also has a beautiful new location at 2233 South Monaco Parkway in Denver. Free and easy up-close parking. Stack Optical has an on-site eyeglass production lab. Whether you need office eyewear or a new set of shooting or golf glasses, Stack Optical has the solution with the Stack Sport Pack. Give them a call today and ask for their $69 eye exam. 303-321-1578. That's 303-321-1578. Your eyes and vision are one of the most important things in life. I'm confident at Stack Optical, you'll see the difference. That's 303-321-1578, stackoptical.com.
Rush to Reason with John Rush, weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ 560.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio. My name is Scott Watley along with Kurt Rogers from Affordable Interest Mortgage. Once again, if you've got any mortgage needs, Kurt is the guy that we refer to, and fully endorsed. Great company, and they'll take care of you, and Kurt will take your questions by phone, 720-895-0500, or if you want to make an appointment, come by. They can fix you up. Well, it's been an extra special show today. Lindsay Radford has joined us in studio from Adams Camp. And once again, that website at adamscamp.org and the number 303-563-8290. So, Lindsay, to get a little personal here.
Go for it.
All right. What are just, the challenges that you face, as having a child disability? I mean, as I mentioned, my sister lost a leg, and then ended up losing another one actually, and then passed away, last April. But you really don't understand till you're around a family of what they go through. And I saw what all my brother-in-law was going through with just my sister, and things like that. But I mean, I'm sure, boy, the difficulty is, well, when you take from birth on and you're going through all these things, and let's face facts, you're accepting everything emotionally too, as parents.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are just some of the challenges or things you wish we knew to, when we see you in public? I mean, whatever, just go anywhere you want to go with that.
I actually run a parent group in my spare time with my 4 kids and my job. I run a parent group for families who have kiddos with disabilities. And, I think one of the things that I always tell parents, this is our story, is that when we, there was some blood work when I was pregnant with Noah that came back that raised the flag that he might have Down syndrome. And I think our odds were 1 in 240 that he would have Down syndrome. And we decided to go ahead and get an amnio because I I knew the risk was actually pretty low of anything happening to the pregnancy. And I really wanted to know what I was preparing for, because that's just how I am. I'm a planner, and I want to make sure I know what I'm facing. But it was tough because, the diagnosis came back with Down syndrome. And I tell everybody, I remember hanging up that phone when the genetic counselor called me, and I just sobbed with a heartache that you could have told me that my child had just died. And I didn't know anyone with Down syndrome. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what reality was. And, it was a real grieving process. And I tell people, I sat in my car outside my house many times after I got home from work, and I fought with God. We had some heated conversations, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to say it like it is, God, because I know you're going to know it already anyway, because it's in my head. But the good news is God's a lot smarter than I am, and Noah has opened the door, and God has used Noah to open the door on so many levels for us as a family, and I think it's changed our entire family dynamic. We're not victims of anything.
Right.
We're happy. Noah's a great kid. We love our life. We love the people that we've met. I've loved the impact I've gotten to have on other people to help them through this journey. And it's really interesting, because when I would see people with disabilities before I had Noah, I never knew what to say. What do I say? Do I not look? Do I look away? Do I pretend they don't have a wheelchair? What do I do? And now it sounds so dumb when I say this, but just treat them like anybody else. If you would normally say hi to somebody on the street, say hi to them. Yeah, it's really pretty simple, because really at the end of the day, we're so much more alike than we are different. And it's a line that's said a lot in the disability community, but it is so true. And I have learned that no matter your position in life, you give something back to this world. And that's why we're all here. And we don't all need to be the same, because my gift doesn't need to be the same as Noah's gift.
Sure. And you know what? You will no doubt touch lives that you would not have been able to touch.
Yeah, and it's fun to give back and to give families hope and really spark that sense of, it's okay, I've been through this journey, you're going to make it through this journey. And if we have questions and we don't know the answers, we're all going to come together and help you figure it out, because we're one big support community. And there's never judgment. It's just, we're all in it together, and we're all going to figure out the best outcome. So it's a blessing for me to be able to do this work. I joke that I get to go run a camp with some of the happiest people on earth.
Right.
I'm pretty blessed.
Well, it's definitely easy to make them happy.
Yes.
It's just spend time with them and let them be who they are, and they just beam with this smile that you just don't see from normal people. And you realize, well, life's not that really important. Let's just interact with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's so true.
So, in the big picture, I mean, you'd love to just see an Adams camp in every state and several in every state, right?
I joke with my office staff that we're going for world dominance.
Right.
We want to camp in every corner of the country.
Because, there's no doubt the need is there. I mean,
oh, yeah.
I mean, I think, there's no doubt the need is there.
No, and that's really what I want to do, is figure out, how do I get more camps and more locations. Not only we have people from England who are calling us. We had somebody from Hawaii this week call us and say, how do I get a camp down here? We have people in Atlanta. I have people in Tennessee. The reality is, every time we run a program, it costs us money. We take on more of a deficit every time we run a program. So I hate to sound like a nonprofit asking for money, but the reality is, that's what we do in the nonprofit world. We launch a program, we run it at a deficit. We're trying to figure out strategic corporate partners that we can work with. I'd love to be able to take, I have this great vision in my head of taking the Early Start program into some of the big corporate campuses here in Colorado and in Denver, so that your volunteers can walk downstairs for half a day and interact with these kids and help them during their therapy camp. And you can really, for half of your day, see what these kiddos are capable of achieving, and you can give back right in your own building. Like, we have the ability to do that with our Early Start program. We have the ability to take you rock climbing with people with disabilities, and you can help team with them as they go through and do these great activities and exercises. And it's fun for them, but your staff also gets to learn how and what the disability community is all about and how you can incorporate them. I think there's so many possibilities, and I have to find the right champions to help us do that. But that's what our staff is hard at work doing and trying to pull off. We think there's just so many opportunities out there.
All right.
For everybody.
Got about a minute left. How has this, whole journey and now being at Adams Camp changed your life?
because I came from the television world, which is really a tough rat race.
Yeah.
It's been nice to be able to work in an environment that's not under threat, the way television is, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I just really pray that I get to use all of my power for good, that I really get to have an impact on people, and that I can help those families that are sitting out there saying, what do I do next? I'm not sure where to go.
Well, the gift that you were given, you've now see where that gift can now take you over here to bless so many others that are you being blessed by. Mm-hmm. Because when you're around them, you're blessed. You realize what you really have. It's not what you don't have. It's what I really got.
Yeah.
And so that gift, and we all kind of would like to know that if we want to follow God, what's our purpose? You've kind of found that. Mm-hmm. And you can see that, and I can hear that in your voice when you talk.
When I was in television, I used to think, I don't think this is the end for me. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how God is going to use me, and I don't know what's next for me, but I don't feel quite fulfilled. Yeah. And now my cup runs over every day. Yeah. Wow. I'm blessed.
And Kurt, you get that feeling from her, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You really do.
No, Lindsay,
I am a camp nerd.
Good deal. We'll have to make a run up there to Winter Park one day, Kurt.
You want to be a volunteer?
Check it out.
I'm not doing rock climbing. I promise you. Not doing it.
We'll go.
I would thud. It'd be a thud when I hit
chase the old man up the mountain, kids. Yeah, go, Kurt.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Once again, Lindsay Radford's been our guest today. adamscamp.org. Check out their website. And boy, if you're looking for a good place to put a few dollars, maybe you want to make a donation to them, this would be a great place to do it and help change lives. If you'd like more information, you can give them a call at 303-563-8290. That's 303-563-8290. Lindsay, thank you.
Thank you
very much.
All right. And Kurt, thank you, sir.
You got it.
Once again, Affordable Interest Mortgage, your one-stop shop for all your mortgage needs, 720-895-0500. Check out our website, haystackhelp.com, and leave it right here on KLZ 560, and have a great rest of your day.
The views and opinions expressed on KLZ 560 are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Crawford Broadcasting, the station, management, employees, associates, or advertisers. KLZ 560 is a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.